from our point of view and from the position explained by our client, I will say a definitely no. And as argument to my position is the fact that when the investigator came in the house of our clients, the doors were opened, all the girls had access to their own phone number, cellular data. If somebody is kept in a house against his will and he has his phone and he has the possibility to post on social media, on Instagram, to make TikTok content, to talk to the phone, has the same possibility to call 112.
Or to just...
Let me get this right. So let me get this right. I'm just trying to figure this out because I'm no lawyer. I'm no detective. But, so let me get this right. These women were saying that they were held against their will. And they have a phone? They have a phone. They have social media. They have a key to get in and out the house. What is this? All right, man, Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. So I'm back again with another Andrew Tate video. This time, his lawyer has spoken out. And he is explaining certain things. Now, I seen a bunch of channels covering this. I seen a bunch of channels covering the Vice, I would say, the Vice stuff that Vice put out on Andrew Tate. Now, here's what I would say. I don't trust Vice, and I don't believe nothing they say. And what kills me is a lot of these channels who make videos talking about Vice, now all of a sudden is siding with Vice, knowing that they do some bullshit in their videos. Vice always do bullshit in their videos. I don't understand why people are trying to act like this is something new. And I'm going to give my take on it at the end after Andrew Tate's lawyer speaks on what I feel and how I feel about the charges. So let's get into the video.
Andrew Tate's lawyer has finally spoken out in a full English interview explaining everything on this case. Drop a like on the video, guys. We'll talk about it as it proceeds in this interview. Let's get into it.
To the Tate's lawyer, who we find busy preparing the defence, but also inundated by inquiries from the press.
Now, your client, Andrew Tate, is accused of human trafficking and forming an organised crime group. Is that true? Is that what they've been doing here in Romania?
Our client, my clients, don't recognize the allegations against them, and their positions in front of the prosecutors and in front of the judge were not to recognize these felonies that pretending to be done by them. And they support us as a team of lawyers with all the proofs and evidences is needed to prove their innocency.
The prosecutor is quite a well-established person and would not have brought this case if they didn't have the evidence.
Legally, yes, but we are now in a phase of investigation. It's not a public phase of a trial. And we are not talking in this moment if the defendant is guilty or is not guilty regarding a felony. We are now in a phase that the prosecutors didn't finish the investigation.
This is why the Tate brothers are being detained for such a long time. To put it simply, the police do not have the evidence to support the allegations against the brothers yet. They're still investigating and finding out more evidence on this case to present to take to a trial. We haven't even got to the stage yet of saying they're not guilty or guilty because there's no evidence to support it and it hasn't actually been put towards them from the prosecutors.
All right, so let me stop it right there. Okay, so let me get this right. Y'all out here making videos as if the man is guilty already. knowing that he's not guilty. He's not even charged. They're just holding him till they find evidence so they can bring up charges or whatever. I don't understand this. It's like people to me nowadays, no matter what you do, they're just going to try to find something. And even the people that they hate, they will side with them because they just despise you, not knowing that that same thing can happen to them through the same publications. Let's keep going.
And I think that it's very early to talk about if we have a case or we don't have a strong case. The prosecutor has also the possibility not to send this case in the court to be judged.
The prosecutor says 6 alleged victims were found, all women, at the Tate properties. Now, were these women being held there and exploited?
From our point of view and from the position explained by our client, I will say definitely no. And as argument to my position is the fact that when the investigator came in the house of our clients, the doors were opened, all the girls had access to their own phone number, cellular data. If somebody is kept in a house against his will and he has his phone and he has the possibility to post on social media, on Instagram, to make TikTok content, to talk to the phone, has the same possibility to call 112.
Or to just...
Let me get this right. So let me get this right. I'm just trying to figure this out because I'm no lawyer. I'm no detective. But, so let me get this right. These women were saying that they were held against their will. And they have a phone? They have a phone. They have social media. They have a key to get in and out the house. What is this? This is what I'm saying. So I see a lot of channels reporting on what Vice said, right? But they know that this is out right here. But they're not reporting this. So it's like, okay, let me get this right. You want to side with one thing. You don't want the whole truth. So I'm under the impression that y'all saying the way y'all was putting it, like these girls was held in captivity and he had them locked in key, ball and chain type shit. Now you're telling me that the lawyer's saying that they all had phones and they can leave whenever they wanted to? They can call whoever they wanted? Are you kidding me? You can't be serious. This isn't serious. This can't be serious. This can't be.
Leave the house.
Or to just leave the house because we have the evidences by the cameras from the house that the girls were alone in the house, that they demand food at that address. They were ordering food. They were visiting the town, the mall. They were making...
What? Hold up. So let me get this right. Let me get this right. The girls was leaving the house. They were leaving the house and going to the mall and then coming back. And you're saying that they was held against their own will? What the fuck is this? What is this? What the fuck is this? These people were leaving? If I'm being held against my will, there's no way you can convince me. I don't give a fuck. There's no way you can convince me that if you are being held against your will and you leave and come back, leave and come back, leave and come back, and go shopping and go eating and do all this stuff and order stuff to the house, you're not being held against your will. You're not. That's bullshit.
Forward a basic point that if these women that were at Andrew Tate's house were held against their will so much, they wouldn't have been given access to phones to get help from the outside world, calling family and stuff like that. But then the interviewer confronts him on this and says that apparently he was employing the lover boy method, meaning that had attachment to him, but he was just using it to his financial gain.
But just because they have the ability to leave and to order food and go shopping, that doesn't mean that they're not being human trafficked.
Get the fuck out of here. There's no way you can convince me of this. You cannot convince me. There's no way you can convince me of someone having their freedom and still they're in captivity. There's no way you can convince me of this. Listen, I know that there's going to be some people in the comments and there are going to be some people on the videos and I'll do another video saying, well, according to scientists and psychologists, you can manipulate. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not trying to hear that goofy shit. No. You're not going to convince me that these people had a way to leave and had money. They literally could have left. They could have got on a plane and left. They could have booked a flight. They had money. They could have booked the flight and left. They could have left. There's no way in the world you're going to sit here and tell me. I don't give a fuck about some so-called lover boy bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care. Because guess what? Any person with any type of sense, when they got somewhere and they realized that they were being played and you ain't being held against your will, they would have left. Any sane person. So when you tell me that and by the way, ain't none of these women, I haven't seen none of these women come out and said that they were coerced or it was the lover boy effect that happened to them. That's bullshit, and that's something that the prosecutors and these motherfuckers trying to come up with to get him on just because he got some type of influence or whatever. Y'all know that that's bullshit. There's no way in the world you could convince me somebody had their freedom and then you telling me that they still in captivity. Oh, you ever heard of, I see some niggas say, you ever heard of Stockholm Syndrome? Like, shut the fuck up. In this time and age, you literally could have said, hey, I'm being held against my will. It's like, why ain't you saying that you're being held against your will then? Why? What is holding you back from saying that? You could have said it on social media. You had a social media account. You could have literally said I'm being held against my own will. No, the money was fucking good and you kept doing it. That's what it was. Whatever other shit that he did behind closed doors, some sneaky Snoopy shit, whatever. We could discuss that another time. But I'm talking about these women being held against their own will or they're being sex trafficked. Like, get the fuck out of here. Because if you're going to say that these women are being sex trafficked, then you need to go after OnlyFans too. Because they do the same exact shit.
According to some experts, Andrew Tate employs the lover boy method, which is to make the women fall in love with them, make them feel under his control, to handle all of the finances and make them dependent on him. Is it true that Andrew Tate has been employing the lover boy technique, which technically speaking is human trafficking?
How the fuck can you employ the lover boy technique? Get the people to your house, right? To you wherever, then you tell these people, you tell these girls or whoever, no, I'm not gonna marry you, I'm not gonna be with you, but you're gonna do this job for me. This is why I say he's gonna get off. If you have the freedom to leave, no matter what, because let's be clear here, when people are being sex trafficked, they can't leave. I don't know why they're not saying that. I don't know why y'all not speaking that part. If you're being sex trafficked, most of the time you're being held somewhere where you can't leave. If this man is letting these women do whatever they want to do, go wherever they want to go, move however they want to move, be on every site, have a phone, have all this stuff, you cannot convince me that they're being sex trafficked. There's no way you can convince me of that because there is too much freedom Whether you want to say, you guys are acting as if Andrew Tate is this, y'all, first of all, y'all say he's not shit, he ain't shit, he can't do these things. But then you're on this other breath, you're telling me that he's a mastermind and he can manipulate and control people's brain and how they walk and move and how they talk and what they do. So to the point whereas if he can control these people, then why the hell is these people saying something? If he's controlling these people like y'all say, then why isn't he saying, why are they going and telling on him? Obviously, he ain't controlling them. So if he was, would they be going to say some shit? No, they wouldn't. They'll be still under control. But my thing is, I believe that these people are trying to flip these people. And I think that if you are trying to flip somebody, then to me, it probably never happened. That's how I look at it. If you're trying to flip somebody, obviously you're trying to convince them the same way you saying he was convincing them. It's the same shit.
It's a pity that at this moment, legally speaking, because the investigation is not public, I am not allowed by the law to give more details. But I will give you that this lover boy method is not sustained by the evidences, and we have contrary evidences. And I am wondering, were all the girls so in love with Andrew Tate that all of the girls had their brain washed by this method of lover boy?
But
Yes, like what the fuck is this? So let me get this right. You're saying that a girl gets us, he tells a girl, he does the lover boy effect. He gets a girl to come. Now this girl comes and he tells her no. And then is another girl come and he tell her no. Then another girl come and he tell her no. Then another girl come, he tell her. So you're telling me all these women who are in the same house, in the same vicinity, are believing that he's in love with them? I don't understand it. If you have access to leave, you cannot convince me that you're being held. I don't care if people try to tell me, oh, well, you don't know what these people are thinking. We only can go off of what it really is. We can't go off of, well, you don't know, or I don't know. We could go off of what it really is. And what it really was, as they could have left whenever they wanted to. That's what it is. The door was wide open. And there were cameras all throughout the house. So if there's cameras throughout the house, how can you convince me that he's trying to keep these people there? That's what I see people saying. Oh, he's trying to keep people. He's trying to keep them there. How? They could have left anytime they wanted to. I don't get it.
as his lawyer, are you aware of the numerous bits of video evidence that are out there on YouTube and elsewhere where your client talks very explicitly about how he controls the women who work for him? It's very clear from the public record that he's already talked about the loverboy technique and how to control and manipulate these women.
I don't know by heart all the videos of Andrew Tate. We are now in a phase that we have to prepare other type of defendings for our clients. But I wondering myself, are you talking about the real Andrew Tate on those videos, or are you talking about a character?
Now, this is going to be the most essential.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? This is what I think people are not understanding, right? I seen all the videos, every one of them. And I'm going to tell you why I'm not convinced of any of it. The reason why I'm not convinced of any of it is because all the videos were doctored. They were chopped up. Whenever someone chops a video, I don't give a fuck if it's a tiny piece. I don't care if they say they was cutting out the breathing. There's always other context in those videos. If you don't have the full video, I don't care if you're saying you was cutting it to save time. I don't give a shit. If you don't have the full video, then you can't tell me that is what the truth is. Because, number one, we all know that videos can be manipulated. It's been done for fucking ever. We all know this. That's number one. Number two, we all know that people do voiceovers. We know that for a fact. So video evidence don't mean shit because people manipulate videos every day. Every day they do it. You see it online. Am I saying that some of the stuff wasn't said by him? No. Yeah, it could have been said, right? But you don't know for sure because people tampered with stuff. I've seen videos where people literally was in a video, and the next video, they took them completely out of the video. People do that to support the narrative. Now, here's the thing. You don't know what Andrew Tate said in the beginning of that video. He could have said something like, hey, listen, I'm just going to tell you what the Loverboy method is. I don't do it, but this is what people do. Then he could go on and explain. And then they say, well, he's talking about himself. You don't know that. Y'all don't know anything. Now, again, I don't trust none of the justice system because guess what? They all do trickery to get what they want. So when you say to me, oh, he should serve time for the crimes that he did, you don't know what he did, and you're siding with the same justice system that does the same trickery and does the same shit. But y'all want to go after this man for having a webcam business? When you had people flying to an actual island, sleeping with kids? It's like, what are we doing here? I don't understand this.
Part of this case is, are the court, and if there is a jury that decides this, going to distinguish between Andrew Tate himself and Andrew Tate the character online? There is humor involved. There is certain things he's even apologized for, like on the Piers Morgan interview. He did say he was wrong about something because he converted on his religion. But are the court going to accept that? It's up to a jury at the end of the day. But his lawyer, it seems like he's going to make a point of putting it forward.
Because from my point of view, as you know, nowadays a lot of people are posting content on the internet just to sell an image, a character. I am not sure that we are talking about the real person, Andrew Tate.
In previous videos, we have seen your client, Andrew Tate, boasting of being able to pay off the Romanian criminal justice system. So is that the intention for Andrew Tate now that he's actually, in jail? Is he going to try to buy off the Romanian criminal justice system?
For sure, no. As a lawyer, I can say a big no. A big no.
He's going to have to go through...
And I don't want to answer, to comment anymore, because I don't know this statement of my client, this declaration of my client.
But again, you might think that that's just him playing a character.
It is possible. It is possible.
When your client was arrested, he said very enigmatically, the Matrix has sent their agents to get me. The Matrix has attacked me. Can you explain what he means by that?
I also don't know. I heard the story of Matrix, but I don't know. I have a serious profession and I didn't ask my client about this Matrix story because I think that is about something on media platforms or internet platforms. Well, and I don't know about this story with Matrix.
He thinks there is a global system that includes big tech and governments and so on that is trying to control and inhibit the way pretty much everyone lives.
All right. I hate when people do this, right? This is hilarious. Even if Andrew Tate says he's living in the Matrix, right? Whatever. But this is what I hate is the fact that y'all say the same thing, y'all just use different words for it. So when Andrew Tate says the Matrix, right? Y'all just say the global patriarchy or the white supremacy, right? That's what y'all say. I use different words for it. But I guarantee you, if someone else says, do you believe that the government and big tech is trying to censor people and trying to control the way people think and trying to control people, I guarantee you 99.9, maybe 100% of people would say, even some people in the government would say yes. But since Andrew Tate says it, and he uses the term matrix, now all of a sudden, no one knows what he's talking about. And it's not this big, not to say his lawyer's doing that, but I'm saying people that I seen online, they all of a sudden don't know, I in the government, what government? Who's controlling what? And it's like y'all doing, I seen videos of y'all doing the same thing. Y'all talk about YouTube censorship all the time. I can't say this because they might throttle my video or whatever. Like, it's crazy.
And that he has been targeted by them. Some people might even call it the deep state, if you like. He has been targeted by them because he is trying to emancipate young men. Now, do you believe that as his lawyer?
I don't believe that. And I think that if you are talking about my client beliefs, you should ask him at the proper time about this matter. This matter, it doesn't have to do anything with my activity as lawyer.
Just a final question then. I know you visit your client perhaps twice a day sometimes.
Twice.
How is Mr. Tate doing?
He's not very well. He's disappointed, but he is willing to resist and to help the investigators to find the truth, to present all the evidences that he has in his favor, and he hopes that he will take part, it will take part of a fair trial.
Like I said in my last video, guys, I'm not sure an exact criminal system in Romania, but the least Andrew Tate should get is a fair trial. No corrupt business involved. I'm not sure if there's a jury in Romania or it's going to come to that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Leave a like and subscribe with the notification.
Yeah, I'm like this, man. I'm gonna stick to this. There's too much inconsistencies. I don't care what people say. I don't care what people say. Oh, I seen people saying I was wrong about Andrew Tate. I was wrong, and I seen people say, listen, until we know exactly what happened in there, if you're gonna side with this whole lover boy method and go again, like most of y'all never even heard of that. Most of y'all never even heard of that term until this whole thing. But you're gonna all of a sudden side with it and say, well, yeah, he was sex. That is kind of sex trafficking if you think about it, because they flew from their home to there and it was providing sex acts. So that's sex trafficking. Like, no, I'm not trying to hear that. As long as them girls had a chance to leave and they had an open door and they could have left whenever they want, I don't give a fuck about you trying to convince me about no lover boy method. There's too many. If you're being a victim of something, I'm sorry. You need to say something. If you're not going to say nothing, don't cry to me about you being a victim. I don't give a flying fuck. If you crying to me about being a victim and you have all ample enough time to do whatever you can to prove that you were a victim or to get out of that situation, and you don't, and you stay there and you continue to do whatever and you continue to go along like everything is fine, I don't give a fuck. You can't convince me that you're a victim. No. We living in 2023. There is too many ways, and you have seen too many things in your life to prove that you can get away from whatever. But if you decide to stay there, you are not a fucking victim. I don't care. I repeat, if you decide to stay somewhere when you have enough time or you have any time, you can flee the scene. You can flee the scene and you decide not to, you are not a victim. I'm sorry. Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page.